Good morning everybody, welcome back to my channel. Belinda here from Visualized NZ, and it's Trashcraft Tuesday time. That time of the week where I take things that would otherwise be thrown out and turn them into something for our journals. So today I've had this bit of calendar floating around on my desk for almost a month, I guess, since it was February, and we're now 3/4 of the way through March, or a bit more, almost at the end of March. So it's like I'm sick of this floating around my desk, and it's starting to get a bit tatty where it's sort of had other things put on top of it. It's not too bad yet though. And I was thinking, what can I do with this? I have used pages like this as pages in journals. I've used them as catch papers for when I'm colouring or something to catch the overflow. But I wanted to try something different, so I have experimented this morning just to check for sizing, and I'm all good on that front. So come along with me and let's make something with these calendar pages, the ones that have no picture on the back. So you could also use ones with picture on the back where you don't want to use the picture for something else, or it's too big, or it's whatever, you're just not going to use it for anything else. Then go ahead and use it. Now this one has got beautiful big numbers, which I really like, but it doesn't matter what size numbers are on the calendar. If you're happy with the size, then you can still do this project and just tailor it to suit. So I am working with my circle punches today. So I've got my 1-inch one here, I think it's half-ish an inch, something like that, can't remember. And then my big one, which is 1.5 inch or 1 3/4. I can't remember. Or is it 2? It is 1 3/4 inches, 1 inch, and half an inch. Right. So there's the sizes. And I'm going to make little circle clusters to go on journal pages or to decorate up anything really. You could decorate ephemera, you could decorate a scrapbook page, you could use it as a date in your journals, however you would like to. And if you don't want to work with numbers, then you might have little stamped images or small images out of a book or something that you might like to use instead. So take the idea and then springboard with it to interpret it to what's useful to you and what speaks to you, what supplies you've got. So without further ado, I am going to just start punching some of these numbers out. Now I'm turning my punch upside down so I can see, and I'm not worrying about the little bits of text that are around it. Like, you'll get little bits of those if your numbers have got them. And these numbers, the big numbers, the double numbers, don't quite fit in my circle. And I'm not worried about that either, because you can still read it. Like, it's not super important. So I'm just going to punch some out here. This punch is a little bit tricky to use since it's lost its housing, and I'm having to kind of hold it together to use it. But however, it is still usable. So I need to trim down this side a bit. The single numbers work really, really well with the 1-inch punch. But your numbers are probably going to be a different size, so whether they work just as well or not, I don't know. You'll have to give it a go and see. So I'm not going to punch them all out, don't worry. I'll just do some to go on with and then punch more as needed, depending how far we get. So I'm going to start with this, with my 1-inch punch. Like so, and I'll leave it there for now. And then I'm going to punch with my larger punch a background circle. So I've got here beside me a bunch of scraps. So again, people might consider it trash. It's just leftover bits and pieces. And then I've also got some collage fodder that I've been doing up over this 100-day project. Just grabbed out a few options that I thought would work for this. They happen weirdly. Wasn't intended, but all the ones I chose out are actually on book pages. So there's a encyclopedia page, a dictionary page, and then this children's dictionary page. Yeah, so these ones are, if I can remember, Distress Ink, these two. This one is a plaid pattern and highlighter, so very quick, very simple. And then this one is watercolour and crayon. So that's what I've got. So let's just grab a bit of this to start with. And then I'm going to take my smaller punch. So let's pop our 9 on there. And what colour might work? This might work. It's a little scrap of 6x6 scrapbook paper. And let's do 3. And it's double-sided, this one, so I might use all one side, and I'm just gonna glue. I'm not even going to like play with arrangement. So I'm just gonna glue that there, and I'm not going to worry about where the text is right side up, right side down, whatever, sideways. And then I'm going to take some, I think I want the spotty side up because it's a bit darker so it shows up better. And I'm just going to add some of these smaller circles dotted around just to give it a nice layered look. Like, this project is super simple, guys. It really is. It's just playing, and I felt in the mood for playing today. And like, quick, simple, easy. Okay, let's go for maybe a bit of this one in a different colour. And you could ink these, totally could ink these if you would like. I'm not going to take the time. I can ink around the edges, the very edges, if I decide to at the time I use them. But I'm not going to ink the individual pieces. And so just play with arrangement, like where I'm just kind of going with wherever it falls, that's where it's going to be. Okay, here's another scrap of, oh, I like that colour, I like that texture on the back there. But let's punch out a few. And you could go more than 3 of the small ones, you could go less of the small ones, you could put more of this size on, like, just fun. Have some fun, have a play, use up some of those scraps. Right, don't think about it too much, Belinda, just put it down. So let's see how much I can get done. Shall we play a game? How far in? We're at almost 9 minutes. Gosh, that time. Where did that time go? I can't believe I've already been here 9 minutes. That's ridiculous. So let's say in another 20 minutes, see how many we can get done. Shall we do that? Just, I don't know, just for fun. Just a little bit of added something. Right. So you can hang them over the edge, you can do whatever. Do whatever you like. That, and let's go, how about purple? And this is just a little scrap of copyweight paper. Nice colour though, and it's been in the sun, so it has got some fading on it. So yes, let's aim for half an hour all up and see how many we've got in that time. And like, when you get sick of circles, which I may do, I may get sick of circles, then let's look at what else we can put on instead. Overlap them, and you could totally layer them up more, you know, more than what I'm doing, and I might do that because, you know, doing the same thing can get a bit boring. Just mix it up. In fact, why don't I just not just keep talking about doing that, but actually do it? So maybe we'll want a bit of this pink. Let's see how we can. I want to trim this off a little bit. I'm going to trim it off with the edge of the larger circle. There we go. There's another one done. Okay. I feel like I should punch a whole bunch of bases in this size while I'm here. Might be a bit quicker. Okay, let's do some in this other one. Sorry for reaching under the camera. Oops, bother. Well, I won't be using those ones. They just flew all under the desk. And I'm not going to be retrieving them during the video because I would have to move the camera, the tripod. And I'm not going to take that time right now. So I will retrieve those and use those later on. So I'll just grab this back and I might get one, maybe two more out of it. One more, I think. So we've got one more of that colour. The rest are under my desk. Okay. So this is what I'm doing. This is the project. Just using up a few bits and pieces that were hanging around that I'm sick of and just wanted to do something with. Like, I didn't want to throw them out because they're very useful, very handy. But wasn't sure what I wanted to do with them. So hopefully you're all having a great week so far. It's early days, of course, I know that, early in the week. I'll be filming ahead for tomorrow because I'll be out all day tomorrow. I've got an appointment in the city tomorrow. And then I've got a Zoom meeting for the marketing course that I've been doing. So that will be good. So I'll have to do that while I'm out. So I might have to do it in the car, so I'm not disturbing anyone at my husband's work, because that's where I'll be for the rest of the day, is hanging out at hubby's work. Okay, yes, it's certainly quicker if you've punched out all the sort of bases at the same time. And we had a phone call from my mother-in-law last night to let us know that my father-in-law has COVID. He hasn't had it before and he's not well, so it's not good news that he's got it, because he's already compromised health-wise and he's not doing very well with COVID, so hoping he'll be okay. And then this morning my hubby messaged me and said his boss has got COVID for the second time. So it's still out there, but it's lost some of its dread, I guess. You know, it's like, oh, COVID. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not nice. Takes quite a while to recover from. But it's not the end of the world either. The only worry is with my father-in-law, because he's not well, that it could impact him quite severely. But we shall wait and see. There's lots of prayer surrounding him, so we shall see. I'm feeling like I want to add something else to these now, but I'm going to resist the urge for now. I can always come back and do that any stage. I could add a little flower or butterfly or anything really. just want to try and build as many of these as possible. Okay, let's go with a bit of brown. This is a scrap from a magazine. Actually, the blue might work well too on the other side because there's just a faint hint of blue in this piece of paper. But I like the idea of the brown. It tones in nicely. So what else is happening? Not a lot. Gee, you must think my life is really boring. Well, this weekend is not boring. Going to visit my beautiful friend Lydia from February and June. Can't wait. Super excited. Never been to her place before. It's quite a trip there, so I'm really excited by that. It's been probably at least 10 years since we've been in the area where she lives. We took a trip there once to do some photography, but never, I didn't know Lydia back then, so it's, oh, I better put a number down. Actually, I'm going to do something different. So excited for that, really excited for that. And we were going to visit my mother-in-law on the Sunday this coming weekend, but she hasn't got COVID yet, and well, with her husband, with my father-in-law, got COVID, then we may not be visiting because it's her birthday this week. So we may not be seeing her for her birthday because I can't see that she's going to end up avoiding getting sick, because she's a full-time carer for my father-in-law. Yeah, so that's kind of put a few spanners in the works for Sunday plans. But we'll just play it by ear, see what happens. And then on Sunday evening, it's either Saturday evening or Sunday evening, it hasn't been confirmed yet, then we're going to our friend's place for dinner. So that will be nice. So it's going to be quite a full weekend, which I'm super looking forward to, since we just had a lovely quiet weekend this weekend gone. So, you know, it's nice to sort of have a busy one, then have a quiet one, have a busy one, have a quiet one. Or in our case, we usually have more quiet than busy. So we seem to be going through a bit of a phase at the moment of being a bit more out and about. Oh, I like that with the other middle-sized circle on it. That's rather nice. The good thing about playing like this is you kind of learn along the way what you like and what you don't. It's like some of these I've done, it's like, yeah, no, it feels like they need something else. Whereas this one, I really like that one. I think it works well. Okay, I've run out of numbers. Let's punch some more. So maybe let's do some red ones. Just trim down the side so I can get to them. It's very hard to hold the paper and the punch and sort of get it all working properly. Lincoln's birthday in the US of A on the 12th of February. I did not know that. Of course, not being American, it's kind of like, why would I know that? But now I know it. Well, I'll forget it. I know I'll forget it. Okay, so I'm also going to keep the days of the week at the top, because they can go on a journal page or anywhere that I want to add the day in. So I'm just going to trim that up. Just give it a little square trim, not worrying about whether it's super straight or not. And pop that to the side. I'll do the strip. Oh, that was a something day in Japan. Don't know what, because I chopped it before I actually read what it said. Come on, line up for me. There we go. Right. So yes, I am quite excited to use these in my journaling. I think they'll be quite fun, and I will tend to use these in my own daily journaling, I think, more likely than not. Do I want to put a bigger circle? Let's put another bigger circle on. I'm just going to put a part circle. And I might have the part circle on the inside this time. Why not? There's no rules, so we can't break them. And if there were rules, well, we're going to break them. There's no rules to this, guys. Just whatever you feel. It's just a bit of fun. It's essentially a mini collage, and collaging is fun. Cool. So let's, I liked the, yep, oops, yep, see, you drop it and it all comes apart. But it still works. Like, I haven't done with it yet because it still works. Not going to throw it out when it still works, even if it is a little bit trickier than if it wasn't broken. It's a real Trash Craft Tuesday, isn't it? And probably most people would have thrown that out, and I actually did. I did throw it out when it broke, and it was my husband that fished it out and put it back together like this, and says, "Look, it still works." And I was like, but it's hard, and blah blah blah. I wasn't too keen, but it's better than not having it at all. Right, so here's a wee scrap of a printable. So let's put some of that on. Excited to use up some scraps too during this project. I'm kind of curious what it would look like if I did ink all the pieces. That would be a different look. Oops, stuck to my finger. Okay, how are we going for time? Yep, we've still got time. Let's keep making. Let's maybe put a bit of this on for a change. Some of these scraps that I'm eating into, I'd like to be able to completely deal with them so I can just get rid of the leftovers and not have them hang around, rather than leaving little bits of them that are still usable. Right, and what do we want to put on here? Not purple. Let's go some blue. This is a bit of shiny children's book page. Oops, took a little chunk out of that one. That's all right. Doesn't need to be perfect. Looks like it's coming out from underneath the number circle. So that actually looks quite cool. And you could definitely do these like colour themed. You could do them vintage. whatever. Right, I haven't used this one, so I might punch some. No, I might do this one. I'm just a bit wary because it's very, very thin paper that it's going to jam in my punch. So I'll double it over and hope for the best. And that worked okay. Fortunately. It's one thing about if the punch jams, the broken one jams, you can take it apart and it's easier to unjam it. There's always a positive, people. There's always a positive. Sometimes it's very hard to find the positive, but there is always something positive, even in the darkest times. Right, and this is a little scrap of a magazine page. I seem to be sticking with the 3 little ones, don't I? That's all right. It's working. So I'm not going to mess with it. I've been watching a program on TV called The Bay. It's very, very good. It's an English drama series. If you're into English drama series, I do recommend it. And we also started watching one called The Night Agent. And it's an American FBI type drama. It's not bad. I prefer the English one. It's got more of a mystery to it. But The Night Agent's not bad. It's a slightly different premise to what we've seen before. Do I want to put... Oh, let's do that. Let's put 3 of this size, 1 being our number. Yeah, so, yeah, both worth a watch, I think. You know, we're enjoying both, but I'm definitely enjoying The Bay more. Because I just find the English dramas are so well done. And you keep guessing at who's done what, but it's very hard to pick, and often it's surprising. Go that, and let's go some of this scrap of... Actually, no, I'm going to use more of this. So I've got a bit there, so I'll tie it in with doing a few more in this size. Yeah, so there's a couple of recommendations. I'm not sure which station, if you like, they're on, so I can't tell you that. Just have a look around. So one's called The Bay and one's called The Night Agent. And then we started watching a film, Monster Trucks. And oh my gosh, it's quite funny. It's sort of a little bit Transformer-esque, but not. But it's quite funny. So halfway through watching that, and then my husband jumps around all over the place when it comes to watching TV. So we got halfway through that, and then we switched. Then he went for a nap, and we had tea and da-da-da. And then after tea, he put on a different movie. So we watched the different movie last night. And I'm trying to think the name of it. What was it? Oh gosh, for the life of me, I can't think what it was. See, that jammed. You just kind of do that and it's not going to break it any further. I might have liked a different colour on this, but never mind, I'm doing this one now. Gosh, and what was it about? Oh, that's right. It was good. It was good. It's the Elvis movie with Tom Hanks in it. Yeah, really enjoyed that one too. It's quite sad. I always find it sad when you find the backstory of some of these famous names that we sort of know the public side of, but then you find out how their life was and the struggles and pressures and everything. So yeah, quite sad, but very well worth watching. Right, what colour? Oh, I've got 2 background's there. Let's go more of this, try and use it up. I need to trim it down so I can get my little punch in there. Yeah, so that's about my life and times at the moment. Then just boring stuff this morning, you know, housework, washing, all that jazz, all that adulting stuff that's just really boring but necessary. Ah, and that's right, and we, at the weekend on Sunday, we had a visit from my mum and my stepdad, so that was lovely. Hadn't expected them, but I got a message from my mum in the morning on Sunday asking if we were home later in the day, and says yes, and so they came and had a lovely little visit, which was lovely. Right, let's grab a bit of this, and then I think we might have permission to throw this bit out. Maybe we'll punch one more little circle out from there. And is there one in that corner maybe? Yes, we can just squeak one out on that corner, and then that's it. So that bit can go out. Yay! So I've got this one little circle in the plastic holder. So I keep them in these plastic holders that they come in, the little hard cases, and then any that I punch or don't use go in the bottom of the container. So there's only one in there, but we might as well use it and pair it with these two, since I couldn't get a third one out of the scrap of paper. Maybe I want to hang this one over the side a bit. Gosh, I better check the time. I wouldn't be surprised if we've gone over. Oh, yes, we have. Only by a couple of minutes, though. So I'll just finish this one up, and then we'll have a look at what we got done in that half an hour. There we go. So we are at 33 minutes, and I talked for a minute or two at the beginning, so we were pretty much on target. So what did we get done? We got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we've got 2 9s. That's weird. So I've lost count. Oh, we did an even number. Get those out. That's cluttering the space. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So we got 14 done in half an hour with a little bit of chatting and fluffing around. And I think they're super fun and cute and just a little bit different. Just something interesting to spice up your journaling, or wherever else you'd like to pop them. Like even on a journal card or a pocket or something, they could be fun. Particularly, you know, to suit the style of whatever you're doing. So if you're doing a vintage style, you might want to make them more vintagey, like this one might work. Give it a bit of ink, and that could work on a vintage page. And maybe give the 5 a little bit of a distress up, make it look a bit more grungy. And so that one could easily go on a vintage themed something. Okay, so there we go. There's Trashcraft Tuesday. I hope this was an inspiring idea. I had fun just playing around and seeing what I could make. And I think those are cute. So thanks for joining me today. Have a fabulous afternoon, or whatever time of day you are in when you're watching this, and hopefully I will see you back in the next video. Take care everyone. Bye for now.